Hi everyone, it's Donna here, and I am back to share another journal that I have finished. Actually, I finished this quite some time ago before I made my move, and I think I've added a few things since then, but we're going to be exploring this journal together because I forgot what I've done in it. I'm naming this one Bonnie. She has a soft cover, and from the sound of it, there's Amazon packaging inside, but it has fabric and laces on the outside and the inside. She's 6 inches wide by 9 inches tall and has a, I think, 2.5-inch spine. There's a dangle on the side with laces and some buttons and some jewelry pieces, some beaded. Some came from jewelry. I think this one I made. And then lots of laces and seam binding. And it's held on with a bulb pin, so you can take it off if you like. At the top is a beautiful pearl covered brooch. It's a pin and it's just pinned on, so you can take that off as well if you like. It's just held together with some cording that I made out of sari silk that I braided, and then there's some beads at the end, so that just comes off. Oops, sorry for the sound there. And that is just wrapped around a big vintage button. There's lace underneath, and then different trims, and part from a doily that wraps around to the back, and it's all sewn on. She's a chunker, and she's full of laces and a lot of my antique laces. So let's get started. Inside this first pocket is an embroidered piece. I did not do this embroidery. It came off of a tablecloth that I just collaged on here. This is a vintage yo-yo doily down there. And then this journal belongs to, tucked in the front pocket. There's a large pocket in the front made from a doily that is wrapped around to the back as well. And inside is my note from the bookmaker. It tells about the journal and how it can be used. There's a little tiny collaged, little tiny collage on a pin dangling from that. Coffee dyed paper. This is just a flip. You can journal inside all of the different layers of the flip. Lots of room for journaling in here. Inside this tuck spot is a piece from a tea card or cigarette card collector's album, where they collected them and put them in the album, and then a little tiny ledger where you can do some extra journaling. Isn't that cute? The digital for this came from Jessica Rapp. 2 Silver Oranges, I think, is her Etsy store. If I remember, I'll put a link down below to it. A page from one of my botanical books, and then a little tiny pocket up here with a tea card tucked in. And inside the back, there's a tuck spot with a scrappy pad in here, a bunch of different papers, and then a railroad administration ticket of some sort, vintage. Just a little embroidered piece. This also came off of a tablecloth, and this just stapled on. Another page from a botanical book with a collage tag inside. And it is actually a envelope that I made from that nature book, and in it is a etching from one of my books, my vintage books. That's an original, and a little tiny tuck spot down here, and the envelope was made so that the image goes on the flap and the envelope. A collage tuck spot here, lots of laces, and this is an original document from 1921. It's a original letter of some sort. That's tucked in there. A collaged tuck spot with a little bit of stitching on it, and inside that is a little bit of ephemera there, original, and for women only. That's an original advertisement. Space for journaling, just a strip of different types of laces sewn onto the edge there. Fabric pocket with a tuck spot in the front with a collaged tag, and a pocket on the side with a page from a 1700s book that I have, and a page from Ladies' Home Journal from 1921. And that's the whole page, whole article. Just some vintage laces on the edge of here, and some buttons. This is the other side of that doily that was on the front, and in it is a little, this is one of my eco-dyed papers from last year, the year before. I would like to try to do some more, but I need to get settled in my final destination. That's tucked into the big pocket there. Edith Holden page with a little tuck spot with a ticket, Miami Beach Kennel Club, and a vintage, one of those little postcard things, Washington, D.C. And here there's a vintage postcard from 1940. And that holds this closed, and there's a little tuck spot in the back here with a, I don't know what that was for, but it's original. Oops. And then a matchbook cover that flips open, and this is a Tundex card from the 1940s. Got lace on the edge here, some crochet lace, just a little snippet down there, image print that I printed on tracing paper, pretty doily, 2-layer doily, writing space. Oh, I thought that was a tuck spot. It's not, but this is some antique lace down here. And in the center of this one is a fold out, an accordion fold out, and each one has a pretty lady tag in it. These images were from Cheryl Francis Art. And the idea for this fold out came from, oh gosh, her name is escaping me, but I'll put it down at the bottom of this. And then on the back side is a tuck spot made from a bunch of doilies collaged together with a Victorian trade card, an original, German page from a German songbook from, I think this one is from the 1800s. It's quite brittle. And then a piece of advertising, or actually it's a recipe of some sort, but that's reproduction. Here's the fortune cookie in this one. This folds out and there's a little fortune inside of there for the recipient. Back page of that tracing paper. Okay. Tucked into this Edith Holden page is a County School 1937. It's a report card from 1937. This is an original. For age 13, Arlene Sproul. So that tucks into there. A slow stitch piece that I made. It's full of all different stitching and some beadwork at the top there for the flowers. All kinds of stitching on there. And that's a belly band. And in it is a page from a street guide from, I think, New York City. And then a page from a 1983 Goodies magazine, ladies magazine. That's an original. Isn't that pretty? Very pretty floral page, and in it is tucked a journaling card with a library catalog card tucked in the side, and then a big collage tag tucked there. This is made from the packaging on something, I think. That's just clipped on. Did some embossed stenciling there. A little snippet up here and a die cut leaf down there. Here's a fabric flip with a bunch of different little fabrics and laces, antique lace there, and then another little tiny tag. It's on a little copper metal piece, little tiny collage, little hand stitching at the top. Tucked into this, there's some antique lace, very antique lace down here, and a vintage baby card. This is actually one of my baby cards. And a page from a 1800s book. In this section of this book is about letters of friendship and relationship. Very interesting reading, how they suggest you write letters back then. This page has a whole bunch going on here. There's a little collage down here. There's things tucked into this front pocket. This is a teacher's certificate. This is a copy of it, but I have this original in my stash. There's another pocket back here with a big tag there. There's another tag back here with another one of those pretty ladies from Cheryl Francis Art with some bling on it. And yet another pocket at the top with another tag. Back spaces for writing. This is an altered envelope, and in the window is a page from one of my botanical books, and that shows through the window. Pretty crocheted butterfly up there, and some lace in a die cut swirl, and you can journal on the back. Oh, and on this tag is actually an earring with little tiny coins. I don't know if the camera can pick that up. It's so cute. Oh, I'm hoping when I move this last time, I'm able to set up my camera better where I have better light. I'm not happy with my setup here. And on the back side of the envelope is another tuck spot with an image from a ladies magazine, and an envelope that I made that has writing space on the inside, and then in it I have a vintage postcard, 1946, and then a Tundex card. My Little Girl is the name of the song on this one. That's just tucked in there. And then on this side, just tucked in, there's some writing space here. I covered up the index part of the map with a page from 1946 appointment book. And then this is a page from a ledger that I have from 1905. So you can, it's pretty fragile. You can probably tear that up for you to use in collage. And then a page from a yellow trading stamps. Another tuck spot here that wraps around the page. Whoops. There's a little tag here. Another tag in the top here. This tag was made from a 1902 farm journal. And then another tag in the back here. And a little booklet tucked into this original tape measure. And that's just, oh, and on the inside, there's more. There's a German vocabulary card, a page from one of my floral books. You can use elsewhere. A vintage photograph. And a German flashcard of some sort. And that's just tucked on, clipped onto the page with a rusty paper clip with some lace on it. Some very antique, delicate lace that I just stitched. I didn't know what to do with that. It's so delicate. So I just stitched it onto a piece of paper. And then another piece of antique lace on the corner here. Some more of that modeling paste stenciling. Another altered envelope with a real pretty tag tucked into it. Or tucked behind it. No, tucked into it. I forgot what I did. And then that flips open. You can journal here. Now that's tied down. And that's the back of the book. And on the back there's a part of a doily and one of my little embroidered hearts with some flowers that I made. And then tucked into it is just some extra, this is a coffee dyed envelope. There's nothing else. I'll put something in there. And then some extra paper to either journal on or to cover up some pages in the journal. And that is it for Bonnie. If you're still watching this and the subject does not say sold, it'll still be available. Please send me an email if you are interested in purchasing this journal, and I will respond to you right away. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.